Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a how to apply wing liner tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to do a wing liner using liquid liner and gel liner. I'm going to be talking about the different types of liquid liners that I like, the different types of gel liners that I like, and then also brushes and things that I like to use, things that I find easiest to help me create a wing liner. I know if you're a beginner, wing liner can be very intimidating. For the longest time, I would practice and practice, and I literally could not do a wing liner to save my life. I would get so frustrated. I just couldn't do it. It would always be like too fat, or it would just be like look like a triangle on the edge of my eye. I literally just couldn't do it. I remember thinking, oh my god, it can't be that hard, just get it together. And I just kept like trying and trying and trying, and I finally got it down. So of course, practice always makes perfect. You just have to keep trying. I know a lot of people will take a piece of tape and kind of angle their eye, so I guess that's one thing you can do. I've never actually tried doing that with wing liner, so hopefully after watching this tutorial you don't have to use any tape and you can kind of freehand and do it yourself, because who has time to look for tape and lay it down on their skin? This eye is with liquid liner, this eye is with gel liner. As always, you just got to keep practicing. Practice makes perfect, I promise. I would get so defeated and frustrated, and I remember thinking, oh my god, this isn't gonna work. And honestly, it's just been within the last couple of, I would say maybe 2 or 3 years, where I really started to get comfortable with wing liner. I just wouldn't do it. I would just do like a little line across my eye. But I remember thinking, I want that fierce wing liner. I am going to do it. And eventually I got it down. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. If you want to learn how to do this fierce wing using liquid or gel liner, just keep watching. So first things first, I'm just going to go over a couple of different eyeliners that are my favorite and in my opinion are the best to use. For liquid liner, if you're a liquid liner kind of girl, my all-time favorite liquid liner is the NYC Liquid Liner. And for whatever reason, they decided to stop selling this, so it's not as easily accessible as it used to be. But this is like the best liner ever. I'm obsessed. It has this nice fine little brush, which makes it super easy to do a really precise wing liner. And then on top of that, it's only like, I think it's around $3 if I'm not mistaken. They used to sell this everywhere. They don't sell it anymore in the US. I believe it's only sold online and in Canada. You can actually still get this on Walmart.com. I just actually bought a couple more on eBay. You can still get them on eBay. You can get them on Amazon. I think on eBay they're selling them for like a 2-pack is like $8, which is a little bit more expensive than what it usually was, but hey, it beats spending $20 on a liquid liner that you could get at like Sephora or Ulta. It's still super inexpensive and it is the bomb. Before I bought a couple on Amazon, I was shopping around for a new liquid liner to replace this, and I picked up the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. This is kind of like the same situation. It has a nice fine brush tip. The only thing I don't like about this is that it's not as matte as the NYC one, but nonetheless it is still a really good liquid liner. I believe I got this for around $7 or $8, so it's a little more expensive than the NYC one, but still very affordable. Moving on to gel liner, my favorite gel liner of all time is the Inglot Gel Liner. Everybody and their mama uses this. It is the bomb. It's super black, super creamy, super matte. Everything that I want in a liner, whether it be just a regular line or a wing. I want my liner to be super dark, I want it to be super matte, and I want it to be easy to work with, which this is all of the above. I remember when Inglot first came out, it used to be really hard to get. It wasn't as easy. And I remember I was overseas visiting my mom. My mom lives in Abu Dhabi in the Middle East. I was over there visiting her, and that was actually when I first discovered Inglot. They have it all over the Middle East. Every single mall we went to, we did a lot of traveling throughout the Middle East. We went to Dubai, we went to a lot of the UAE states. Every store, every mall we went to, they had Inglot, and I was like, what is this brand? I knew nothing about it. My mom had recommended it to me and she absolutely loved it, and she got me a couple of things to try. I tried some of their eyeshadow, some of their blushes, their pigments. all bomb. They are awesome, dude. So if you can get your hands on Inglot, get your hands on it. I'm getting totally off topic. I mean, we're talking about wing liner and now I'm talking about Inglot. That's just a little side note. I got a little distracted, but I know Inglot is not as easily accessible like a MAC or Sephora or Ulta is, but if you do have an Inglot near you, definitely check it out. The gel liner is super affordable. I want to say it's around $12, $13 price point. I've had this for easily over a year. So I'm a huge fan of the gel liner. It is really, really creamy. You do have to work a little faster with it. I feel like it's hard to work with it once it starts to dry. So you do have to move a little bit faster. I know a lot of people are not huge gel liner fans just because it is a little bit harder to work with. I myself prefer gel liner over liquid liner. I'm more of a gel liner kind of girl. If you are a gel liner person, definitely pick up the Inglot one. It is the bomb. And this is like my second or third one, I think. That's how much I love it. It is awesome. If you can't get to an Inglot or you don't want to order it online or you don't like to do the online shopping thing, Maybelline makes a really good gel liner. I have been testing this out for the last couple of weeks. It's awesome. It's really black, really, really creamy. You have a lot more work time with this one than you do with the Inglot. It doesn't dry quite as fast. So this one is really nice. It's around $7 or $8, and L'Oreal also has a really nice gel liner that I have used in the past. I believe that's around $7 or $8 too. That one is also very nice. If you are a gel liner fan, definitely pick up the Duraline from Inglot if you are able to. My gel liner lasts a really long time. I don't know about anybody else, but for me personally, my gel liner will easily last me a year or longer. In that time, obviously, it will start to dry out. That's just a side effect of gel liner. So if you have the chance, pick up a Duraline. This stuff is so awesome. I use this every single time I use my gel liner. I feel like once you start using Duraline, you can't go back. This is like a mixing medium. And I don't know if any other brands have something similar to this. I've never honestly heard of anything like this before until this started to get really big. You literally just take a tiny little drop, like the smallest droplet. If you use the MAC paint pots, when they start to dry out, you can mix a little bit of this in your paint pot. You can use it in like cream eyeshadow pots. You can use it in honestly any type of cream product. It will just like revive it and bring it back to life. Like I said, the Inglot gel liner is a little bit harder to work with because it dries so fast. If you're a beginner or if you like to take your time applying your gel liner and you don't want to move fast, which is totally fine. I'm a little slower when I do my makeup. Take a tiny little drop of Duraline, and it's literally like the smallest droplet. You just put a little drop in there and kind of swirl it around with your brush. It applies like a freaking dream. So I picked this up a couple of months ago, and it's like once I started using it, I can't go back. I literally can't use any cream product without Duraline. That's how much in love with it I am. I'm so obsessed with it. I love it. And I think this is around $11. And then onto brushes. I'm gonna give you two different brush options that are my favorite to use with your gel liner to apply your wing. The first one is the Sonia Kashuk number 27 angled liner brush. Mine is dirty, so it looks a little dingy and grungy. It's just your typical wing liner brush. I have tried a lot of angled liner brushes, and this one beats them all. It's really, really stiff. The hairs don't fray, which is the best part about this brush. That's my issue that I've had with other brushes in the past, is that when the brushes start to fray, you can't do a precise wing. The nice thing about this is that the bristles stay in place and they don't move. This brush definitely takes the cake when it comes to angled liner brushes. If you are a beginner or if you have a hard time applying a wing liner, this literally does all the work for you. You honestly just dip this into your gel liner and you can just kind of stamp out where you want it. If you kind of just press it, it'll give you the outline of your wing, and then all you have to do is bring it down, and that's all there is to it. This brush makes doing wing liner so easy. If you have a little more experience with doing a wing and you kind of like to draw the shape of your wing yourself, this is what I gravitate more towards. It just depends how I'm feeling, but usually I will grab this brush just because I like how thin and precise it is. And this is the Morphe 250-1. It's just a little tiny baby brush, and it's super, super thin and precise. It's Morphe, it's super inexpensive. I'm gonna say this brush was probably around $3 or $4. These bristles don't fray either. I've gone through a ton of these little liner brushes, and the bristles always fray, which that drives me absolutely crazy because you can't do like a precise wing. When you go in with that gel, if you have a brush with bristles that are fraying, you're gonna be able to see that line and your wing's gonna look messy and sloppy. So the nice thing about these two brushes, and my favorite thing about these brushes, is that the bristles don't fray at all. And I've had these brushes for quite a while and I've had no issues with them. And I don't know that I mentioned this, but the price for the Sonia Kashuk one is around 10 bucks, I think, and you can get this at Target. Let me zoom you guys in a little bit so we can get some wing action going. Okay, so we're gonna do the liquid liner on this eye first. And I'm using the Nyc one since this one is my favorite. Like with anything else, you're gonna go in with as little product as possible. It's gonna be the same rule of thumb for doing your brows, doing your eyeshadow, applying blush, lipstick, whatever. The same thing goes for liquid liner. I have a nice thin amount on the tip of my brush. So we don't want to go too heavy with the liquid liner because that's where things start to get messy. The first thing that I like to do is lay down the line on my lash line. We're just going to take the brush. We're going to make small strokes against the lash line. Making smaller strokes is going to ensure that you don't use too much product. When I get to this inner part of my eye, I hardly lay down any product because I like a thin little line right in the front. So I'll just barely brush the liner across the very front of the inner corner of the eye. I'm just barely laying down product there. To go in and build the wing, I'll take my pinky and I'll rest it on my cheek as guidance, just so my hand doesn't move too much. What I'm gonna do first is I'm going to create the shape of my wing. I'm gonna start right here at the outer V of my eye. And I'm kind of using my eyebrow as a guide. That's what I'm going towards. So you're gonna go as long or as short as you want. I'm going for kind of medium. When I say I'm using my eyebrow as a guide, this is where I'm lifting my wing up towards. I kind of want it to meet the end of my eyebrow. And then to finish off the wing, I'm gonna go in with one swift motion. I like a smaller, thinner tail of the wing. So I'm gonna start about right here, a little ways down. And I'm just gonna bring that in, just like that. And all you do is fill it in. What I like to do when I bring this down, I'll bring it down to the center of my eye. And that's where I like the wing to connect into that line that I first laid down. So this is the side that we're going to do with the gel liner, and I just did a little drop of Duraline into my Inglot liner, and I'm taking the Morphe brush. I'm gonna lay down the line on my lash line first. And we're doing small brush strokes. This is gonna help keep our line nice and crisp so it doesn't get too messy looking. When I get to the inner corner, I'm going to take the least product so the inner corner stays nice and soft. And honestly, it's okay if the lash line is a little bit messy. As you can see, it looks a little bit jagged, but since I'm doing lashes today, I'm gonna go back and clean that up once I have my lashes on. I'm moving on to the tail. We're gonna do the same thing. Just resting my finger right here on my cheek. I'm starting at the end of my lash line. I'm just gonna create that shape using my eyebrow as a guide. And I'm using really small brush strokes. And I'm gonna start a little bit lower than where the edge of my tail is. I'm just gonna bring that wing in. Then you just fill in the rest. so I just popped on some false lashes, and I actually don't like to finish my wing until I've got my lashes on. That's the last thing that I do, and then I like to go in and clean up my liner. And this might seem like an extra step, but if you're crazy like I am, then you probably do this too. So the reason I like to do this is because lash glue never dries clear. I don't care what anybody says, I have never used a lash glue that dries clear. So I'll go in once my lashes are dry, and I'll just take my liquid liner and I'll kind of just clean up where the lash glue is. If sometimes I feel like I want the top line a little bit thicker, or I feel like the lashes kind of hide the liner, I'll just kind of go in and thicken up the base of the liner with my liquid liner. Also, if I feel like I want this a little more extended, I'll just kind of go in and clean this up. And then if I want to extend it a little more, I'll just take that and do a little flick. Now this side is probably a better example of the reason why I always go back and do this step. My wing looks a little too sloppy for my liking, so I'm just going to take my liquid liner and I'm going to cover up where the lash glue is, and I'm going to kind of thicken this line right here. I want it a little bit thicker. The tail of my wing on this eye looks a little bit sloppy, so I'm going to take my liquid liner and I'm just going to clean up the wing. Just kind of make it a little bit sharper and more defined. I also wanted my tail a little bit longer. I just find that it's easier to do this with the liquid liner, and then also once you have your lashes on, your eye makeup is going to look totally different. So that's why I like to wait until I have my lashes on to do this step. I usually tend to skip this step. I know a lot of people like to do this though. If you want to sharpen the base of your wing, I just have a little bit of concealer on this flat brush. You can just take this, and by adding the lightness underneath the tail of your wing, it's going to make it stand out more, and it's going to sharpen it. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if this was helpful, if there are other things you want to see that are more of like how to. Any feedback, any thoughts, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. I'm so sleepy. I have lipstick in my teeth.